Hey guys, welcome back to another Underground Virtuosos video. Today we're going to be talking about reasons why we need to practice with our bow parallel to the bridge. In other words, bow is straight. Okay? Towards the end of the video, I will have 3 exercises to help you to get started on understanding what bow parallel to the bridge means and practices that you can use to get started so that you feel comfortable playing bow parallel to the bridge all the way from frog to tip and no matter which area you're at. Okay, now before we get started and talk about bow parallel to the bridge, we have to understand how does our instrument make sound and what is contact point. These two things will help you and should tie into the bow being parallel to the bridge and reasons why we need to do that. So, a couple things. The first one, how does our instrument make sound? If you were to ask me, maybe 10 years ago, how does our instrument make sound, I probably wouldn't have been able to explain to you the actual science behind it. And I think that's just because a lot of times we don't think about these things. We just think about playing. We think about the music that is in front of us. And sometimes having these knowledge will open and make that image a little bit more clear in your head of how to produce a better sound. Okay, so the first thing is, when we pull our bow, and make sound, the string is vibrating when we do that. And when the string vibrates, the vibration travels to the bridge, down to the 2 feet of the bridge. 1, 2, you can see the feet of the bridge here. And there are 2 ways that the vibration is traveling through those feet. Number 1 is that it's traveling through the feet at the same time, like so. Okay, the vibration is feeding in at the same time. The other one is that the vibration is bouncing back and forth between the 2 feet really fast. Now, we cannot see this with our eyes. However, that is the science behind the vibration. There are 2 ways the vibration is traveling through. Now, once it's traveled through the bridge, it enters the top plate of the sound box. Yeah, and after it enters the top plate, there are 2 ways inside the sound box that help spread the vibration through the entire sound box. The first one is if you take a look at the right F hole here, you just take a look at the inside of it, you should see a stick that is standing up. That stick is called sound post, and the sound post has 2 jobs. Number 1 is holding up all the tension the string is pushing down. Without that, your instrument might actually collapse. And it also helps, that sound post also helps the vibration to travel from the top plate to the bottom, the back piece here. Okay. And then if you take a look at the left F hole now, but I want you to look at the top circle, the top little circle. And through that little circle, you should be able to see a piece of wood. Okay. That wood is traveling up and down the instrument, up and down, all the way. And that helps, it's called the bass bar, and that helps spread the vibration traveling through the top plate to be spread out all the way through the sound box. And then the F holes, because they're open, the air inside the instrument and on the outside connects, and that helps the vibration to become projection. So that helps project your sound that you're producing out. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 that we need to understand before we talk about bow being parallel to the bridge is contact point. Contact point essentially is where your hair and your string meet. Yeah, and it's important to understand that our contact point could be anywhere between the bridge and the fingerboard. Okay, depending on what kind of sound quality we're looking for, we could be anywhere between there. However, for us, when we practice bow being parallel to the bridge, I would like us to keep our bow in the middle, directly in the middle between the bridge and the fingerboard. Okay, this will help us to just keep more in check of that bow is staying in the same place. And if it's not, then that's something to work on. Okay, now let's dive into the bow being parallel to the bridge and why it's important. If I play, and you can go ahead and try this if you have your violin, viola, and your bow out. If I play with the bow like this, what would happen if I don't try to control it and I just let it move? Yeah, you see it's moving back and forth like that. Yeah, and that means the contact point is moving. And because of that, our vibration that we're getting on the string is not consistent. So you don't hear this nice consistent tone, something more like this. Instead, you hear something more like this. Okay, same thing the other way. If your bow is doing this and you start playing, it's going to happen again and again and again until we fix it. So that's why we need to understand how the instrument makes sound. If our bow is not parallel to the bridge, it doesn't send the right vibration into the instrument, which then doesn't turn into a good sound for you. Okay, and the second thing is contact point. As you can see, when I play with my bow slanted or at an angle like this, the contact point moves all over the place, and that doesn't help with the vibration and with the consistent sound. In order to start thinking about phrasing the music, in order to start thinking about being able to work on dynamics, you have to first learn to control your sound and to have a consistent sound, basically. And so that will help you with that. Okay. So let's get started. The first exercise, we're going to play from frog all the way to tip and then all the way back. But make sure you, first of all, practicing in front of the mirror. Okay, not a small little mirror that you would use for some, looking at your eyes or something like that. A big mirror, a mirror that is attached to your closet doors or a mirror that is in the bathroom. A big mirror, so you can see yourself clearly. Okay. Now, once you are in front of the mirror, what you're going to do is you're going to place your bow and you're going to angle yourself so that you can see the bridge being a straight line like this. If you see your bridge like this, you can see it like this, holding your instrument like that or like that, you're not going to be able to see a straight line here, which then isn't going to help with the bow parallel to the bridge practice. So make sure you angled your body in a way that you can see that straight line. Okay. Now you're going to keep your eyes on the mirror. It's okay if you want to take your head off like this. Just keep your hand here and that's fine. Okay. So you're going to play from the frog. You're going to go all the way to the tip. Notice my bow is still parallel. Okay. And then now I'm going to go back. Okay. Notice the bow is still parallel to the bridge, like so. Okay. We'll do it one more time. Slowly. Okay, so this practice is very helpful for you to just get started and understand bow being parallel to the bridge. And another thing, if you didn't notice, the contact point remained fairly in place. I didn't go like this and then move somewhere else. Okay, I kept it in the same place. Okay, so that's the first exercise. The second exercise, we're going to do quarter notes plus eighth notes. Every single quarter note, you're going to go from one end of the bow, so from frog, to the other end, to the tip. Then the eighth notes, 2 eighth notes after that, will remain in the upper half. Then followed by another quarter note that will bring you from the tip back to the frog. And then another 2 sets of eighth notes that will be in the lower half this time. So you're going to go alternating from frog to tip and then do eighth notes there and then back and then do eighth notes there. So let's do it together. Keep your eyes on the mirror when you do this. Okay, as you can see, the bow was very parallel to the bridge all the way through, and contact point stayed the same. Now, that's the second exercise, and now we're moving on to the third exercise. The third exercise, we're just going to be playing eighth notes. However, we're going to start the frog, and every single time we play a down bow. Okay, we're going to go down, up, but every single time we play down bow, we want to use slightly more than the up, so that it brings us from frog to the tip, like this. Okay, as you can see, now I'm at the tip. Now I'm going to bring it back, doing the opposite, more on the up bows. Okay, now you can see I'm now at the frog, and the bow remained parallel to the bridge. Let's do that one more time. You can do it with me if you want, but make sure you stay with your eyes in the mirror. If you look at it this way, it's sometimes hard to see. You could be slightly off like this, and you might not notice it. Okay, so make sure you are looking at the mirror. Okay, here we go. So that's the third exercise. Now, I'm going to discuss a couple last minute problems that I usually see when I see students trying to practice bow parallel to the bridge. Very often at the frog, students like to have their bow this way. So you have to make sure you do keep your wrist a little bit more tucked in and not let it be out like that. Okay, the bow stick should not be behind your head. Okay, it should be like this. And at the tip, make sure you're not like this. A lot of times students play and they pull their arm out to the side. Push, think of pushing it forward, pushing it away from you. Okay, so that you get your elbow open and you end up with bow being parallel to the bridge at the tip. All right. So those are the two little habits that I see often from students. And one more thing, some of you might be thinking, oh, well, how come, this player that when they played and you saw a YouTube video and they're a famous player and their bow is not exactly parallel to the bridge? I think the question you have to be asking yourself is, what is the direction of their sound? Where is it going? For example, if they're playing a piece and it's becoming really soft and they're going from loud to soft, what would it look like? It would probably look something like this, yeah? Okay, because traveling to the fingerboard area allows us to be able to play a softer dynamic. And might have the same kind of quality sound. So yes, we have to try and maintain and understand the bow is parallel to the bridge most of the time. However, if you're changing dynamics, very often you will use bow angle to help bring you to a different location. But that usually is for a one note or a brief moment. It's not that your bow is tilted all the time. Okay, that can be learned after you have learned to control bow being parallel to the bridge. All right, and last thing to understand, everyone's arm lengths are different. Okay, so when I am at the frog, my arm might look like this. For some of you, if you don't have long arm like me, you might feel a little bit different. It will probably look a little bit different too. Okay, so it's okay if you what you're doing doesn't look like somebody else's, just make sure that you know what you're looking for, which is bow stays parallel to the bridge in the mirror when you're practicing. After you can do those exercises, you can try them faster, and after that, you can go ahead and try them in your own music when you're practicing something that you're working on. You can practice in front of the mirror and do the same thing, and you might notice, oh, maybe it got easier, maybe the sound got better, because now your bow is not moving in different places and angled all over the place, but it's staying more consistent. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope that it has helped you guys and maybe answered some questions. If you have any comments, suggestions for future videos, or anything else, please leave it down below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to be notified when a new video comes out, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell button so you get notification. I'm trying to upload every Monday and Thursday if I can. So yep, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.